slacking. All right, here we go.
All right. So I missed the first two rounds.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mechanics Institute on this Tuesday night. Rounds 3 and 4 of the Tuesday night marathon, the May Tuesday night marathon, the final online Tuesday marathon.
Amazing.
For the moment, anyway, barring any future complications. Abel Telemontes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and joining me, as usually always, is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. Just not last week, but he is back. And you were just saying that you missed the first couple of rounds, so you're jumping into round 3 here.
And I know nothing. You have to tell me, bring me up to speed here.
Well, board 1 says it all right here. This is the board 1 matchup for this week. No stranger and no surprise, Grandmaster Gadir Guseyanov is on board 1. He's playing white, but he's playing FIDE Master Max the Axe Gadajlovic. And they played a really tight game. I'm remembering in one of the previous Tuesday marathons. So here
Yes.
they're doing battle again. And maybe we can go back to the beginning and see how we got here out of a Sicilian.
Paulson, Sicilian.
And here we
Or
go.
Tamanov.
Just
one of these things. We get into a kind of a Tamanov situation anyway.
And how's it going, Paul?
Hanging in there. I just won 8 games in a row in the arena, so I'm feeling my oats here.
Yeah, Paul feeling strong after 8 out of 8 in his own arena. Took it down, first place. Feels good to be back on top.
Nick didn't play, and neither did half the dozen other great players. But
right, but that's neither here nor there.
No, I take take it where I can get it.
So, what do you think of this position? I mean, I'm looking at that queen on d6, and it looks kind of like it's in a good spot there. But what's Black's counter? Does he have a
Well,
counter?
I mean, you have to be like Karpov or Tamanov to play these positions well with Black. Very tricky. Very, very tricky. I'm not envying Black here, being that he's playing Gusenev, who just plays these kind of positions really well. And actually, I'm not sure what positions he plays badly. He's
Yeah.
He's just he's a good all-around player, and
Pretty
I'm going to tilt it down so
yeah,
a little bit.
pretty solid all the way around. Actually, I'm looking at Paul's background right there with all the books. I credit the books being behind him as being a deciding factor in his 8 out of 8, giving the impression that he's like a world-renowned scholar of some sort.
Yeah, studying chess, except for these books are a few of them are chess books back there, but
like self-help
not
books.
as many as you'd think.
Got a lot of self-help books over there.
Actually, there's books in Greek and stuff like that.
Greek. Like ancient Greek or
No, like modern Greek. I mean, my girlfriend has Greek background, and she's always studying Greek things.
Nice. And Lexi Roots in the chat. How's it going,
Hi,
Lexi?
Are you rooting us along, me and Abel, or the chess players?
Rooting the chess players, rooting for good games. So
Yeah.
this is the board 1, but look at this game on. Hey, Judith is in the chat.
Hi, Judith.
Also. Hey, Judith, starting all the games for us. All the games underway. Going to board 2. This is a pretty intriguing matchup as well. FIDE Master Eric Lee playing white against National Master Eric Hahn, Micro Bear.
Okay. So this is the gambit that I play against the Over. Looks like it was an Overbach.
Benko Gambit.
It was a straight up Benko gambit. Okay.
Fully, it says Benko Gambit fully accepted. And let's take a look. There you have it right there. Absolutely fully accepted.
Okay.
Give me those pawns.
Yeah.
And here we have. And sort of the idea behind the Benko is that black's going to get this queenside space.
A4 might not have been the right move for black here, but I don't know the theory of the Benko per se. I get into Benko positions out of the King's Indian usually, but these positions are, they're tough.
And
Tough for both players to play. Game.
Grandmaster Nick DeFermian, the 3-time U.S. champion, is on vacation this week. So he's not joining us today. He will be back next Tuesday.
All right. Yes. So I'm steering the ship with you.
Yeah, so we're gonna wing it and do our best. And off to board 3. This was board 2. Board 3 is National Master. This is a good matchup. National Master Mike Walder playing white against Austin Mai, who's 2100 and change Scholastic player, but an absolutely talented blitz player. But I mean, kind of like a rising talent, and this should be a good matchup.
Look at this. Already we have, chaos on the board. Typical Mike Walder.
And apparently out of a Benoni.
Yeah. This is a 4 pawns attack against a Benoni or bishop B5?
It says pawn storm variation. So
pawn storm variation.
So we have to see this. And let's take a look. It was that F4.
A lot of theory here that I, of course, don't know.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, this is one of the most direct attempts at a refutation of the Benoni. If black doesn't know this, he could get murdered. But
actually, we know that in the chat, Benoni is greater than cocaine. Mike Walder was in the arena chat saying he was preparing for this match, and at least from what it looks like, he's kind of lured Austin into waters he doesn't want to be in.
It's hard to say. I mean, if you play the Benoni, you're going to know this. And right now, the queens are off, and it's still an exciting middle game, but I'm not sure what what theory says about this position or anything like that.
I feel like there was a game that Josiah Stearman played one time where we saw something like this, where just the king gets lured out. But what do you do with knight d5 check here?
King d6, I guess. And then castle's queenside. I mean, that's pretty pretty fun.
And we
Michael, right up Michael's alley.
We have a result in the top board, I think it is, in the under 1800 section. Mike Hilliard went down to Aaron Nikoski. Something went wrong very early on, and then he got
Look how fast the game has been going.
Yeah. Yeah, he was down.
The players are just blitzing out their moves.
Yeah, he was down.
Black is a rook ahead here.
Well, it's mate on the board here. So something happened really early. So Aaron Nikoski, 3 out of 3 in the under 1800. So we'll keep an eye on that. And just kind of like flipping around to other games. This one's an interesting game. This is Elliot Winslow. He's playing white against Chelsea. Chelsea Zhu
beat him last time.
And Chelsea beat him in their last encounter. Right. So this will be an interesting one to watch. But let me
variation.
Let me flip back to board 1 because we've had some moves played. And here we have the bishops and the queen and the rooks. Does it look like Max's improved position?
Still, White's sitting on a space advantage with the pressure on the D file and so on and so forth. Black's a couple of knights have gotten traded, but looks like White is still maintaining some pressure here.
And has 10 extra minutes, does White, on his opponent.
Yeah, this is a pet opening line of Gadir's. Again, not an enviable position for Black. It's going to be difficult. Still, in fact, it might even be worse at this point.
And moving on to the board 2 matchup with Eric Lee and Eric Hahn. And thank you everyone for want to see the opening with Gadir and Max. We showed it at the beginning, but we'll show it one more time. It was a Sicilian.
Sicilian with knight c3 and bishop b5, a relatively new idea.
Yeah, and then knight b4.
Yeah. So this is, a relatively, like I said, a relatively new idea where White plays knight c3 and then. So it's like a Rossolimo.
Yep. And then here we go. And this is where we're at. Yep.
Black maybe shouldn't have fianchetted the kingside bishop. I don't know.
It seems like the d6 square, a little tender. Just that whole setup on d7, e6 pawns.
Yeah, it's like you say, tender, the Black position.
And let's go
discouraging.
Check this game. This is on board 4. This is Pranav Satish, champion PS, 1787 USCF rated, taking on National Master Michael Wang.
Well, Black is definitely better here. White has weak pawns.
Those are targets that are going to be attacked.
Yeah, I mean, it is lots of pieces, still major pieces on the board, so it's not easy at all. But, Black seems to be standing better here at the moment, for sure. So Kyron took a bye, huh?
Yeah, and I was going to mention that Kyron took a bye for these rounds. And
what about Andy Lee?
Andy's not playing the TNM.
Oh, he's not. Okay, that was just the club match.
Yeah, he played the club match. And for those that are not aware, we had a fantastic club match with the Hamburg Chess Club on Saturday.
They made hamburger out of us, yeah.
Not quite not like really. That, but yeah.
I had to get that joke in.
It felt like it, though. It was like, I think it was 22.5, 17.5, but had a lot of fun calling that match because we had Eva Maria Zickelbein from the Hamburg Chess Club on our broadcast with us.
And who Nick had played it. Nick knew her.
Yeah, she's a women's FIDE master, and Nick had played her several years ago in Hamburg, and she definitely remembered that. And it was nice to kind of get her talking about their players, and that was a whole lot of fun. I mean, they got some serious players that these players take chess extremely seriously because they're either coaches or, they seem almost it's like a way of life and a profession for them. So it's a serious club, serious players. It was a lot of fun, great collaboration. Hopefully we can do it again. They wanted to do it again sometime. That would certainly be a lot of fun. And another game in the top section, Server Busy, Vedant Talwalkar against Sauce Hakobian, Sacrifice and Crush.
So what's going on here?
Out of a Tarash French.
Yeah. Black's got this Queen D2 move, sort of attacking everything.
It's kind of like forking the bishops.
Yeah, and threatening F2. So what happens? I guess white, what's white going to do?
That doesn't offhand look like a move that you would spot, right? 'Cause
It
it looks like it
strikes fear into my heart.
and played. He played it.
I think I might just win on the spot, unless white has something extraordinary here.
What a move.
Queen E2 just loses a piece. Queen takes just queen trade and rook takes E6. So what's white got here? I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean,
Wow. Paul, let me jump back to board 3. Look at Austin Mai's got his king on D6. And you're going to see that pop up.
yeah.
This cannot be part of the plan.
Well, I
Or
mean,
can it? Or can it?
Black has got his own, like there's that pawn at E6. If he can pick that pawn up free of charge and avoid the attack here, yeah. So it looks like white played knight D5 check, king D6.
We're going to take a look at that. Play the move
Yeah.
back. Thank you, Alexi. Knight D5 is correct. Check. King D6. Then castled.
Yeah,
Castled long.
right. And black stuck the knight in on D4 to block the d-file, and white returned the knight to C3. So we're left with this. Where black, I guess black plays knight F2 is no good, maybe? He's probably thinking about, well, he eliminates the dangerous pawn. Now the question is white running out of gas?
Right.
Or can white,
Because objectively, if you look at black's pieces, like the bishops are out, the knights are out. I mean, the only thing is that the king is sitting over there. But for some reason, now that the D6 or the E6 pawn isn't there, does it look a little safer?
Yeah. Knight E4 check and H3. It's complicated. But black's up a pawn right now. Unless white has a forced win, it might be difficult.
And jumping back to board 1 with
have to create some magic here.
Gadir and Max. And going back a few moves, it looks like
this has gotten interesting a little bit. Looks like black is somehow okay. So black played D5. Wait a minute, back there. Okay. And so if white takes on D5, black, I guess, will take on H4. And so why did Gadir play Queen C7? And now there's the D pawn.
Yeah, and with those bishops, isn't that pretty scary looking?
Yeah, I mean, black has kind of freed his game a little bit, but the D pawn is on fire a little bit here. And black doesn't really have anything to attack. That's the frustrating thing for a position like this, that there's no targets.
There's not an obvious target anyway.
Yeah. So it makes it tough to play.
Let's take a quick peek to board 2 with Eric Lee and Eric Hahn.
And this is, again, it's just a typical, Banco Benoni kind of thing here. I tend to like these kind of positions for black, but you know, and white just goes ahead and takes that e7 pawn. So I guess if knight d3 is going to play rook b1.
And isn't sort of the idea in the Benko that the gains are going to be space and long term, right, on the queen side?
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like this is very strong. If if rook maybe rook g1, if rook b1, black can play bishop c3, queen c3, rook e4, and that looks very good for black.
And I've just typed in the chat the link. If you want to follow the Tuesday Night Marathon, get the standings, the pairings, just click on that link. You'll get all the action when round 4 starts, all the pairings, all the information you'll need is going to be on that link. So click there to get all the information you need about the Tuesday Night Marathon.
Now, black doesn't have to get fancy here. He can just play bishop c3, queen c3, and rook e4. Regaining the pawn with a better game. I guess maybe white has bishop d6, though, then queen d6, queen d3. Just a few tactics here.
Checking on another game in the top section. Jonah Bush playing white here against Sanjeev Anand. Vish 1080. What is
I think
up?
black looks very good here. That nice, well, I mean, unless he succumbs to a horrible attack, but black's got the nice e5 square. So I'm giving black the plus here for sure.
Do we have anyone in the chat or anyone watching the tournament? Anyone playing this coming weekend, the Silicon Valley Open? I think they're almost full up over there. There's probably like 5 spots left. As of the arena, there was 5 spots left, and I'm wondering if we sold out since then, because we were promoting it. Not quite. There's still 5 spots remaining in the Silicon Valley Open.
How many players?
100 players. 100
What?
players.
Wow.
100 players. Here's the link.
So was the Berkeley tournament the first tournament where players
Players what?
first over the board tournament?
In the area?
Yeah.
I don't think it was the first over the board tournament. I mean, actually, you make the argument that the San Jose Chess Club was the first one to have over the board because they were doing it during the pandemic. They were holding rated events outside.
Oh, that's right.
But in terms of an event where there are like titled players, I think they are the one. Not me.
Black made a weird knight b6 move in this game, so this is a little tough.
Judith, you're in the chat, not me? For what? I think I missed something there. Vish 1080 got a new online USCF peak. You know what I'm curious to see, let me go back to board 1 just to, wow, look at, there's been developments here. Look at this.
Yo, let's check it out, good dear. Black is going for the counterattack here.
But look at that. Isn't the bishop on g4 pinned?
Well, if queen g4, bishop e3, check, king f1, queen f2, mate. So Gadir's got to be careful. Wow. Look at this. Black is desperate, but is he pulling? Will he be able to pull something off here? He's threatening mate in 2. And against Gadir, that's something.
It's something significant, yeah. But what do you do
Queen.
here? Aren't you going to lose a piece
Oh, what's a piece
between friends?
between friends? Yeah.
Or
I
unless you
guess
got F5 or something,
bishop f. Well, f5, bishop e5 check,
and then King G8,
and then the other
Bishop
bishop comes
B3. Yeah.
diagonal. Both players are mating each other. Hmm. All right, let's try to get serious here. Bishop f4 has been recommended.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay, if white takes on g4, then queen h2, king f1, maybe bishop
Then nothing.
g3. Hmm. I think bishop h6 is a nice move, but it's also a smacks of desperation.
Bishop
Um,
H3.
no, I'm bishop f4
Oh
has been.
yeah.
So
Might be in a little trouble here.
bishop f4, what if white just takes on g4? Queen h2, king f1, queen h1, king f2. You can go back to h4 check, and then white just sidesteps with king e2, queen g4, queen f3. White's getting out of the woods there. Hmm.
And Max did just under 9 minutes now.
Yeah, the bishop is being threatened now. Let's see, f5, bishop e5 check. Oh no. You have to play rook e5, queen e5, bishop back to g7. That doesn't inspire confidence somehow. White can go queen e1 there or something like that.
Very
I
tough.
think black is on the verge of collapse.
Yeah, and taking a look at how sort of we got there, bishop there. I feel like that. Yeah, you may have missed that simple shot of Queen C4 check.
Well, I think black was in trouble anyway.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
mean, material's even, but the fact is d pawn is just a monster.
And F5 has been played.
All right, so bishop e5 check. Has to play king g8 or rook e5 because bishop g7 just loses to trading and then queen d4 check and then taking the bishop on g4. So if you play king,
Wow.
what?
Queen E1.
All right, so a typical Gadir move, keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid, right? That was a
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
campaign. Yeah. It's a campaign management. Keep it simple for the people.
So trading queens now looks horrible for black because white will take on d5, e5, and still has his g7 pawn. Black will be a pawn down with a horrible game. If he moves the queen, then white can probably just take the bishop. Well, it's not quite trapped. You can go back to h5, but it's out of play. And yeah, so it's just lost, unless black can fan something up out of the, I don't see it though.
Look at this position from Eric Lee's game on board 2 against Eric Hahn.
So black didn't take on c3 and has played a kind of a positional grind here. You know, if you're white, this is like a nightmare from this Benko gambit. You're tied down with rook b1, rook a2, knight d1. Is that pawn on b2 really worth it? You know, I mean, it's just.
This is sort of the whole idea of the Benko. I mean, look at that bishop on g7, that diagonal. You got the 2 rooks stacked up.
I mean, the one thing you can say is that white's 2 pawns up. So let that not go unobserved here. But I mean, black's ready for bishop d4 and knight b4 is a threat, of course. Knight b4 is the real threat here. Winning the rook on a2. So.
And
yeah, this is I mean, tough position for white. But he fights on, queen e2. I like the fact that he's 2 pawns up. 2 pawns is a lot of pawns.
And Paul succumbing to filthy greed.
Greed and material, yeah.
c3.
Look at that. All right, so the b pawn's pinned, and you know.
Lots of pressures.
A simple move.
Let's take a quick look at the developments in Gadir's game. That game is over.
Yeah.
Gadir Gusenov gets it done.
Beats one of his main rivals pretty handily.
Yeah, just got an advantage that he did not let go of. So fantastic win by Gadir.
Gadir is just giving a masterclass in how to play these positions, keeping it simple and just really. So what's white got here? Bishop takes d6 maybe as some desperate move.
Yeah, let us not forget that it's pinned over there, right?
Maybe bishop takes d6. That actually might be a decent move. Yeah, I don't really see anything else for white here. 2 Erics, yeah. Eric and Eric. That's well said.
And let's take a look at Mike Walder's game, his battle with Austin Mai.
It's still a wild one.
And in the previous game, someone's asking in the chat, what was the point of bishop d6? Because it would deflect in the previous game. Because bishop d6, queen d6, and then queen d3. Would that be right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even see another move. Well, there's another deflecting move. If bishop takes d6, black can play pawn to c2. And then if queen c2, queen takes d6. So in that case, white has 3 pawns for a piece, but a completely losing position, I would say. Tied down completely. What did white play? G3 instead?
Yep. G3.
And black just took on b2. And now bishop takes d6 is not playable. Well, White's playing like nothing is wrong. You know?
Oh, you got email alert. Yeah, I think, and it depends where that email came from. Did you get the email alert from chess.com? Because you'll get the email alert because the tournament for the arena is a scheduled chess.com tournament, whereas the Tuesday Night Marathon is not an automatically paired tournament. Uh, we pair them manually ourselves, so that's why you don't get an alert from
Is Roy
chess.com.
is sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Is Roy playing in this round?
She's not playing
She's not playing in the TNM either, huh?
at all. Yeah,
Okay.
she played in our match, our club
That's right.
match.
I'm because I missed the
You're
first two
yeah, you're
rounds.
still living in Saturday, Paul.
I'm still living on Saturday. So no Andy Lee and no Roy and no Kyron for these two rounds.
And Kyron because he had
Yeah.
taken the buys.
How's Elliot doing in this round?
And we'll check on that game shortly, but I think it's Pranav Satish held on against Michael Wang to get the draw, which is a big result for him.
Okay, sure.
Uh,
Definitely a draw.
yep, yep. And let's see Elliott against Chelsea.
That was a dragon variation the last time we looked at it.
Yep.
And it probably still is. Oh. Well, black has nothing to fear here. Just get those rooks over to the H file.
Simple plan, huh?
Well, I see now. Actually, the E pawn is hanging. So, what a funny looking position. Is white going to play H5 and then? Okay. So this is to play King F7, freeing one of the rooks, so it can swing over to the king side. That looks like a good idea. The question is, can Elliot do something now with H5 or G5
It almost seems like he can just
or both?
Can Chelsea just let the pass pawn happen? So H5 and then G5, because
Maybe
won't be
that's
able to make
possible.
won't be
And
able to
then
make
play
any
King
progress.
H6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go back to board two because it looks like this is the interesting game of the round right here.
Are you talking about Michael Walter's game?
No, Eric Lee's game.
Oh, this is, yeah. Well, I think White's.
Yeah, but certainly
A
Walden's
funny
really going.
position. It's like mutual Zugzwang or something. How can black make that pawn go one more square? And white's a pawn could be dangerous. Yeah. It's a tough little fight, actually. Maybe not as easy as I thought.
And just checking in on this game real quick. Balanced Rohan Das and Georgios Solias. Let's jump to Austin's game. Looks like he's up some material here. Does White have anything for it?
So white's given up the exchange. White's got bishop e7
Bishop
check,
e7, yeah.
regaining the exchange. And then if that's all that happens, he's a pawn down, so maybe white needs to try something else. Well, I mean, I'm not sure what should have happened in this opening. Michael had it didn't turn into mate.
And I guess that's
Yeah.
the sequence.
See, right around here, what h3 encouraging knight f2, and this looks a little like I'm not sure here. So bishop e7 check, king c7. Bishop f8. Boy, black could even play knight takes b. No, I guess could almost play knight b5. Probably not. Very complicated. All right, let's stay here for a minute, Abel.
And like, why isn't he immediately playing bishop e7? Like, what other thing might he be considering?
That's a good question.
Jadoub, thanks for following.
Well, he's probably trying to see what happens. Bishop e7 check, king c7. He plays it. Yeah, okay. It's obvious. It's forcing. And actually, after knight d5 check, the king is forced onto the back rank, and then bishop f8 threatens rook down at the end mate.
Rook e8.
So this is beautiful. This could work out incredible. Knight d5 check, king
completely
c8.
Forced. Yeah.
Bishop f8. Threatening rook d8, rook down mate. Wow. Michael Walder.
But if he goes king b8, oh yeah.
Then, well, king b8, bishop d6 check, king c8. It's all, All right, now bishop takes f8.
But bishop yeah.
This looks winning for white.
But what about black? Knight takes b5.
Then you can go rook e8 check and rook takes a8.
Yeah.
And that's just winning. Knight d3 check is met by bishop d3. I mean, white just takes the rook, and that looks just devastating. I don't see what black has got.
Bishop takes f8.
I mean, it threatens rook e8 check and takes the rook on the corner. So what is black got? He does it. Knight b5, rook e8 check, and white's a rook up at the end of that. So the rook on a8 is going to be protected, is protecting the bishop on f8. So it works so perfectly for white. And black's left with like a spite check, knight d3 or something, but that
spite for a spite check.
A whole rook ahead. That's enough. Wow, Michael Walder. And Michael's really turned into some heck of a player lately.
Yeah, there's nothing to do here.
Resign. You could have taken the knight at d3 as well. Either way.
Well, let's take a look at board 2 now.
Don't look up, folks.
Yeah, very nicely played by Mike Walder.
Yeah.
Tactics rich.
Yeah.
And Eric Hahn under 4 minutes.
Okay, so if white can't play king g2 because of knight f4 check, or king h1 because of knight f2 check. So he has to play king f1. And then then f takes e4. Yikes. I think white is getting destroyed here.
This would be a big win for Eric Hahn. Let me jump to board 2 in the under 1800. This is Joshua Lamstein against Sebi Suarez. Look at this pressure that white is putting on black. Is there a way to take advantage of it?
On black, I'm just going to try to hold on here and hope that. Well, let's see. White's threatening g6 with a mating attack. Well, black can play meet g6 with f6. There's got to be some way for white to break through here. I mean, you know, this is dominating position. Black's lucky to have this knight at d5. It's the only thing that's working for him. The rest is, you know, is just horrible.
Let's jump to Elliot's game really quick.
Sebi.
Is he in the chat? Oh,
no, I'm just talking about his position.
Focus on your game.
Oh, wow, we have an interesting endgame here.
Chelsea, though, 45 seconds.
So white's going to be up a pawn in a rook and pawn ending. The question is it a theoretical draw or whatever? Probably a draw. Rook a5, e takes d5. That looks like, you know, it's probably a draw.
Let's see if the time pressure.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that's
messes with you
very well for white. And that might not be so easy either. I mean, rook a5, e takes d5, rook d5. Black can't play king underneath the pawn because of c5. Meanwhile, white plays a5. But then what does white do to make progress?
So Alexei goes, Elliot looks like he's winning. And then V Chessmaster says, even if it's equal, Elliot will find a way to draw.
I don't know if this is winning. I mean, this is
that he wins.
It's unusual endgame, in a way.
Yeah, the time pressure is going to be the teller of the table.
Yeah, that's tough for Chelsea.
And Mike Walder gets the win in his game. Big win against Austin Mai.
Really nice game, Michael. Fantastic. I mean, geez. Some of these tactical games you're playing are just incredible.
And
well, this is black just wins with rook f8 check here, and king g2, knight f4 check. Devastating. Oh, I guess white's got bishop f4, but then g5 wins a piece. Now, Eric needs a little adjustment in his game. He's tends to come under attack a lot and flounder around in the middle game.
And then g5
Is it okay for me to make comments like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got to call it like we see it, right?
Oh, I guess here g5. Well, no, wait. G5 looks like it should win.
And welcome everyone. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Mechanics Institute Tuesday Night Marathon. If you want to know what the standings and the current pairings are, just click on that link I just put in the chat. Round 4 is tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific time. In just under a half hour, we will have another round. Game in 35 plus 2. USCF online rated. Games manually paired. So round 4, 8 p.m.
The Black has just played this beautiful game here. What about knight takes f4 in brilliancy? Queen takes a6, rook f3 check. Ta-da!
Rook f3 check. King e1.
Did I say ta-da? I didn't mean ta-da.
And g5.
G5 was the first move that I said.
42 seconds.
Black's attack is kind of circled the board. Started on the queen side, then in the center, and now over to the king side.
42 seconds, though. Not a whole lot of time.
That's true. It gives Eric some hope here. Probably has to start with something like rook a4, something. I don't know what he's going to do, though. Rook a4 might be good in that it chases the bishop. The bishop could probably go back to g7. The bishop is still hanging at f4. This is hopeless. And white can't play queen g4 because of discovered check. Ugh.
And just real quick, this is how the endgame has turned out. Chelsea 6 seconds on our clock.
Wow. Let's see. So Elliot plays king b6, rook a6 check is not a good move. Rook b6, king c7, they were probably just there. This might be a draw. It just might be not enough maneuvering room for white here. Got to play king c7.
And she ran out of time.
Oh.
She flagged. And
that's too bad, because the position may well be a draw. Rook a8, and if rook b7 check, king c6. It looks like it's probably a draw.
Yeah, Elliot's in the game chat saying he thinks it's still drawn. But,
yeah.
Back to see what happened with we have moves played.
Hey, that sounds like a name for a chess player on have moves played.
Have moves played.
Oh, down a rook now. Not good. Right? Not good.
Yeah, rook for just a bunch of pawns.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Big win, it looks like, for although
yeah. Black has to still be a little careful.
Yeah, because
but it's inevitable. A rook is a rook.
Is a rook? Wow.
White's making a lot of quick moves, but...
And here's the thing, right? Where he's blitzing out, trying to put some pressure on Black because they're low on time.
It's amazing what you can do with just one piece.
One knight, one pass pawn, and
oh, that should be it.
Maybe a little bit.
Rook h5 wins. Well, why didn't white try knight h5 anyway? Oh, well. What's my lag?
Yeah, no, it's you're seeing it right. It's over.
Yeah.
Eric Hahn's gonna get it done. Fantastic win, big win.
Yeah.
Checking on Jonah Bush's game. Jonah Bush taking on Sanjeev Anand.
Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting.
Down a piece for some pawns, but has the attack.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. Rook h7 is a huge threat.
One minute for Jonah, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's see. I mean, bishop f5 is met by queen g5 check and wins the bishop. So black needs a move here.
Oh, wow.
And that just gets mated
him on the board.
Yep.
Wow. Nice win.
I think white was winning that position.
Anyway.
Nice.
Checking in on
Michael Walder wins.
Yeah, rough. Nice win, Mike.
Yeah. Terrific win. Oh, black is going to get finessed here and lose easily.
And that is Aditya Rutla against Akko Hidari.
And black, a protected pass pawn is just too much here.
Let's check in on the Sebi Meister here.
I think this isn't, yeah. Well, now he's a rook down. I mean, a piece down, so.
A little trouble, for
yeah.
sure.
Let's go back to that king and pawn ending there, or that last position that we're looking at.
Yeah.
That was actually a little bit tricky. Oh, not this one. Yeah, so, oh yeah, this is what would have happened.
This is the one.
This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
So black is going to get finessed out of position here, and he's going to lose the e5 pawn. King b5, king d6, king b6. Black is eventually going to lose the
no. I mean, doesn't he have like access to now g5 and f4? Oh, look at that.
Now king g5, king takes e5.
Oof.
He's trying to exchange some pawns, but that doesn't help.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Nice.
Instructive end game. Very, very typical.
Technique there, yeah. Good win there. And looks like Joshua Lamstein's going to get it done here against the Sebi Meister.
The Sebi Meister.
The Sebi Meister.
The Sebi Meister.
Big wins, big wins.
Big wins, and you know, that's what you expect at big chess.
Big chess.
Is this the last game of the round?
I think this may be the last game. I'm trying to pull up the Google Sheet to find out for sure. Find out. Here it is. Round 3. Top section, all the games in. This is the last game.
King and queen white lost over the board. I would say in that position it was a good idea because he was absolutely lost. You know, if the position was equal or slightly better or slightly worse for one side or the other, then it's a very bad strategy to do that usually.
Right.
But because he was completely lost, I would have done the same thing, just try to blitz him, you know.
And sort of carrying him like long, right?
Yeah. I mean, you had nothing to lose. You know, you were already completely lost, a rook down. So,
all right. So those are the games of round 3. Very shortly, we will have the pairings for round 4. What we do know is that Mike Walder is at 2.5 points. Eric Hahn is at 3. And with Eric Lee losing, it looks like Gadir will face Eric Hahn as they're the only 3 out of 3 players left. And
now, did they play in the last TNM? I think they did. And I think Gadir won.
They've played a few times. They have had a couple of draws, but I think they were sort of like draws where it was to Gadir's benefit to take a draw because it like locked up first place. Mike Walder's thinking probably he'll get Eric Lee.
Interesting.
We shall soon see.
Do you want to take a break, Abel?
Yeah, you going to entertain everyone?
Well, I'll try. I don't know what to say. I mean, give me a talking point.
Let's talk about your feelings about live chess returning, and talk about what it means personally to you, because I mean, you've been telling me what being able to get back into mechanics means to you. I think. Oh yeah. I think people would love to hear that perspective. Okay.
All right, I'll let it rip. But first, I got to make sure you're out of earshot. Just kidding. All right. Yeah, apparently the Tuesday night marathon, this is the last online version, and we're going back live in the chess club on June 1st. And I'm going to be commenting on games that will be on DGT boards instead of on, as it was more than a year ago, instead of online commentary on chess.com. So we'll be sitting in the chess room office, and you can see the chess club down there. And I'm not sure how it's going to be conducted. Are the players going to be on every other board, or did I miss something that Abel had said? Are they going to have to call the moves out to each other from across the room while wearing masks? I don't think so. But I'm excited to be back in the club. I've been, missing my colleagues and the players at the club. I miss them all, except for maybe one or two, and you know who you are. Vish 1080, if you know somebody who lives in town that you could stay with or something, make it a day trip to the mechanics and play in the club. I don't think we have entries yet for that. We're waiting for some technical issues. So I can ask Abel now before I take a break. Abel, the question I want to ask you is, um, how are the players going to play in that on June 1st? Are they going to be calling each other's moves out from the other room or something? Or
Are you asking that, or did somebody ask that?
yeah, no, I'm asking.
No, it's going to be just regular chess. I mean, they're going to be sitting across from each other playing chess. We'll have spacing like every other board, uh,
Right.
open. That's why we're going to have a capacity of something like 44 to 50 players. We're going to utilize the meeting room as well, uh, for games. We could even have a couple of games in the annex if we wanted to do that. Um,
So we're not going to have a Skittles room?
no, 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 no. I mean, there's gonna be no spectators allowed. No skittles after. Like, you play your game and then you leave, and that is it. There's
Especially if it was a bad game, then you have to leave really fast.
yeah, yeah. You gotta get out of there. Um, Tentatively, and we don't know. I can't say that the precautions are set in stone. We're developing them. We've actually have them developed. It's just we have to send them to the city for approval. But the expectation, as I understand it, for the moment, and nothing's for sure, so this is not like the final say, is there's not going to be a requirement to show proof of vaccination to play. Everyone will be required to wear masks, regardless of what the ordinances are. So no proof of vaccination required. Um, Everyone must wear masks, and we'll have the sanitizers. We're going to clean the pieces, but we'll have the windows open, and we will have 4 DGT boards. So we are going to do a broadcast from there. The only difference is you're going to be pretty much running the broadcast. I might join from the annex on another computer somewhere else, and then
And I have to get, I have to get back
yeah,
on track with doing that.
yeah, and we'll figure that, do some trial runs, because basically the broadcast we do here, as we always used to do, we used to broadcast from the Mechanics Institute.
Right.
We'll do the same. It's just we got to log into that computer, use the broadcasting software there, just sort of reacclimate to it. But we'll get there. And
We'll be
then,
there.
and one of the exciting things is we'll turn that camera on because we have a camera that shows inside the chess room. So we'll turn that camera on. We'll have the board, and so like right now you can see the chess room, on down there right next to the board. That's obviously a picture, but we have a live feed camera that we used to have on during the broadcast, right, where you could see inside the room. And I think that would be great. So people see inside the chess room, people playing chess, live chess, broadcasting for the boards, and that is it.
I'm
Starting,
excited.
yeah. The expectation is the next Tuesday night marathon starting June 1st. Not that far away. I mean, it's like a couple weeks.
Not at all.
So when registration, as soon as we get the go ahead, we will announce that we will be open for registration first. Give people like a day to learn about it, and then we'll let everyone know that on this day at this time registration will open, and let's see who comes.
I'll be back in 5 minutes
All
or
right,
so.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. And the round starts at 8.
Uh, I mean, for yourself, I'm seeing in the chat, we're not going to ask to disclose, and that's not going to be a requirement. So that's just how it is. So I don't know what else to say, because it's that's partly the institute's policy too. The library and the other parts of the institute are not requiring proof of vaccination, so we're not going to require proof of vaccination. Now's a good time. If you have any questions, we're here. And Judith's here in the chat. Let me take a look at what do the pairings say for this round. Take a look. I expect Eric Hahn and Gadir to have to face off on the top board. And Eric Hahn has white against Gadir. FIDE Master Eric Lee against Michael Walder. I don't even want to know what's going to happen in this game between Max Gadajlovic against Max Howe. Two players that don't mind throwing the big punches. Sauce Hakobian against Rohan Das. That should be interesting. Elliot Winslow against Michael Wang. That is a terrific matchup. So we'll be watching that. And then in the under 1800 section, Aaron Nikoski, the top seed, taking on William Kelly. Keep an eye on that matchup. Marina Zhao against Joshua Lamstein. Good matchups coming on. So we'll be following all the games of round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon. Yeah, no, I hear you. We are distancing the players. We are having limited capacity, and at the end of the day, people can choose just not to play. So that sort of takes care of that. We just can't have an institutional policy where in the chess room we're doing something different in terms of expectations than what the library does. I know chess is a game where people exchange pizzas and do whatever, but let's put it this way: I'm totally fine with the policy being as it is. Um, I was having this conversation earlier in the arena because there's some players that may choose not to play an event because they don't require masks or they don't require not don't require masks. I'm sorry, don't require proof of vaccination, and that's perfectly fine. Like I don't think there's anyone that judges someone because they don't want to play an event because they don't require proof of vaccination. I think that's a perfectly legitimate and reasonable reason not to play an event. I don't I don't think many people are gonna judge someone if they choose not to play an event for those reasons. But every place has a right to have their rules of how they do their event as long as they adhere to the state and county policy. And even us doing it in this way adheres to the guidelines of the state and the county. So we're choosing to go that way. And feel free to ask questions. I mean, this is not about right, because there is no right and wrong answer here. And I perfectly respect yeah, and it's like you have to think of the Mechanics Institute as a whole, because one of the common misconceptions is that we're the chess club and we sort of like set our own. It's actually not like that at all. We have to. Is that live video of the mechanic? No, it's not. It's actually not live video of the mechanics chess room. Although when we do the broadcast from mechanics, we do have a camera feed inside, and that will be on. But the one you're watching now is just a picture, just a picture. Yeah. So the Mechanics Institute is sort of like the overall boss of everything else that happens inside it. We obviously work with the institute because we have some chess specific knowledge, but that chess specific knowledge of how to run a tournament has to be consistent with their overall policy. Uh, there's a lot more bureaucracy to the mechanics than people realize. I'll just tell you that, and it's it's a battle sometimes, lining up. Let's put it that way. Yeah, yeah, it can be space specific, and and chess is a little bit unique in that it involves an interaction that's much different than a library. I mean, at the library, you can just space people out. They want to lounge and read books, and you don't really have to have interactions. There's not a whole lot of one-on-one interaction or exchanging of similar, items like pieces. Um, so chess is a little bit different, but you know, I mean, it's been thrown out. Do we have like a vaccinated people section? Obviously, I don't even need to say what issues can come up with that. Um, it's a tough one. Uh, we feel confident that just requiring masks, having the sanitizers, we clean and sanitize all the pieces, windows open, uh, 50% or even less capacity. Uh, I think we're going to be okay. But like some people are going to choose not to play for those reasons, and that's perfectly fine. Like even me personally, I don't. There's no right and wrong on that one. People have to make choices that are good for them, right? So, and then we'll see how it goes. I mean, hopefully everything goes well. Like you can never predict these things. Uh, Things get even better where restrictions are lifted even more. And here's the thing: even though we're not requiring vaccinations to come back, I mean the fact of the matter is probably 80% of the people there are probably vaccinated already. So you know, and especially windows open with half capacity. If you've been to the Mechanics Institute, you know that in a packed TNM, even the windows open, it's a necessity, just with the humidity of the people and everything. But I think with 50%, and mind you, 50% capacity, like we're gonna have players in the meeting room playing. Also, which the meeting room, if you know the Mechanics Institute, has its own rather large windows that we can open. But the chess room, there's a lot of windows we can open, and that'll help. Oh no, not at all. Like and like I appreciate the conversation and the dialogue. Uh, and like I don't even consider myself, disagreeing or agreeing like in a negative. Like I appreciate the conversation, and we need to have the conversation because uh, like why not? Like I don't think it's wrong. Um, you know, and you can have voluntary disclosure, but you're gonna have some people that are gonna choose not to voluntarily disclose. And if we have voluntary disclosure, those that choose not to voluntarily disclose shouldn't be looked at any negatively for choosing not to disclose if if it's truly voluntary disclosure. So anyway, the games have started, and we are off. Gadir and Eric on board one. And we go to the close off the other games. And let me pull up some of the other games that I know are happening. Some of the ones we want to follow, especially Eric Lee, Michael Walder. Certainly want to find out what happens in that game. Uh, Probably trying to find the player. And let's take a quick look at how the opening goes down with the two Maxes, Max Gadajlovic and Max Howe. We're not gonna uh, we're not gonna stay on this game too long because we know Max likes to hang out in the chat. Paul is back with us, and we are off. And Elliot Winslow's in the chat asking why neither Michael Wang nor Elliot Winslow alternated colors.
Because because we have it in for you, Elliot. That's all there is to it.
What is it? Occam's razor. Uh, you know, all things considered, the simpler explanation is the likely thing.
Yeah,
We have it in for you, and that's
yeah.
obvious, and then that's it. Wanted to, and Elliot Winslow, who knows poker well and knows that is a long, a winning player. You have to look over the long term. You can't just look at what happened in the last round. You got to look at all the rounds. And as Elliot notes, the colors were different in earlier rounds, and so this balances the colors out. So here we go. Let's go to the top board now that you can give us
opening here with Max and Max.
the maxes, the two maxes. What about Eric Hahn and Gadir?
We have the classic like a Sozin Dragon or something, Accelerated Dragon.
Accelerated Dragon.
Yeah, I would call And White's played like a Fischer Sozin kind of attack versus it.
And one of the games I'm very curious to follow is this one, FIDE Master Eric Lee against Mike Walder.
Oh, I like this opening for Black.
What do you think it is about Eric's play lately? Because we know he's an extremely strong, talented player. What have you been observing that would be great for him?
It's hard to take this over the board play serious. I mean, this computer play seriously. I think.
You think even
a tournament game like does this? If you're playing Blitz all the time online, and would you? Sorry about that.
This is live TV here. Right, live TV.
I would. I don't. This almost feels like it's a Blitz game as well as a tournament game. So it gets to be kind of like. You wonder if this is how seriously the players are taking it,
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
If you come all the way into the city, or you get on the bus and you go down to the club and you sit there and you show up, and there's a lead up to it, there's a tension to it, you'll feel more up for the game, I think, than you will just sitting at home and getting a coffee, and 1 minute it's a Blitz game and the next minute it's a tournament game. And, you know what I'm saying?
They're asking in the chat, what was the alarm for?
That's interesting. It sounded like an alarm, but it was actually
but the thing is that they don't know that that's what a phone sounds like in the dial-up.
That's an old-fashioned phone.
Ring.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
I'm gonna actually, the person that called me, I'm gonna tell them I'm on Twitch. So maybe I should ask them to call me back.
Call you back so you can take.
Yeah, so we can hear the alarm ring again.
And let's take a look at this game.
Does that make any sense? What I said about the about the online play? Maybe it's just harder to take seriously for the players. And I was answering that about Eric Lee. He's a serious player,
right?
And
it could also be too that. I mean, this is 35+2, but like these players, the ones that play at Mechanics in the marathon, they're used to playing game in 2 hours with 5-second delay, right? I mean, Yeah, and how much do these players, even though it's online rated, it doesn't affect their standard rating? Do they use this to sort of fine tune elements of their game or try things out and
Sure, sure.
like they
And like I
still
said,
play competitively, but they're more apt to try things and that in the long run helps improve their game.
yeah, I would say so, without them taking it quite as seriously as they do a regular game played down at the club. That would be my feeling. I could be completely wrong. And we can ask Elliot. Actually, Elliot said that he didn't find there was any difference between over the border online play. And he was the only one who said that at the Chess Cafe.
That he,
Everybody else was like, finding the differences, but Elliot seemed to be unfazed.
to him it's just fine either way.
Wow, look at this. I mean, here again, Michael with the aggressive intentions here. F2 is being targeted. We could be seeing a quick knockout if White's not careful here.
Yeah, that looks pretty invasive.
And I think Eric's openings are shaky. They've been shaky in the last since we've seen him come back.
Lex is asking you in the chat if you got the actual phone on the wall, like
No,
or iPhone 2.
no, it's just a regular old Android, but it's I had that ringtone, the
he
old
has
school
he has
ringtone.
he has the Commodore phone, the Atari phone.
Yeah, and people don't care so much about their rating, I guess. Yeah.
The online rating. That's actually a. I would be interested to hear what people actually feel about their online rating, whether they genuinely care about their online rating, or do they like the online rating because of the competitive chess aspect. I could be wrong, and Judah and I have even debated this. Whether a USCF online rated tournament, do they play and enjoy playing for online rating, or do they enjoy those events because of the competitiveness of those games versus like a random game? An online rated game, people are going to be more competitive than they would be. Well, let's just play a regular online game. I don't know. If people have feelings about it, put it in the chat. Talk about it. Discuss it.
I think that it would be interesting idea to do away with sort of ratings altogether almost, and just have categories of chess players. Like if let's say if you're playing in
I
the
can't wait.
TNM, if you're playing in the TNM and you score a certain amount of score, you would become an A player or something like that.
Yeah, but that's like rating, right? It's just not. It's categories
It's
rather
not a
than.
numerical rating, but it would just be like a category of player that you are,
And
right?
Judith is shouting for Sebi. Did he knock out?
Yeah, people care about their ratings. I mean, that's look what happened here. Did Elliot?
Sebi.
Oh,
Where's the Sebi Meister? I'm trying to find him.
is he not playing chess? So what's going on board one? How's Gadir doing? Our grandmaster from Azerbaijan.
What's up with Sebi? She mentioned Sebi, but I don't know what the reference. I was trying to pull up his game, but I was having trouble finding him. So here we have it. Let me change the board orientation here.
Oh, so Black's doing a little minority attack
Wow, he won already. Gosh. Sebi lost that other game. He's already in the chat talking. He was out for revenge after that last one. It's not showing up because he's over. He's done. Congrats, Sebi. Great comeback. Tough game, that first one.
So Black's doing a little minority attack here on the queen side, and he's probably stands a little better at this point now. And White's in for a rough ride, as is usual.
It's incredible that the slightest advantage, someone like a deer can just...
It's these kind of thematic endgame things here. I mean, White's got no real play on the king side or in the center or anything like that. Black's got this little minority attack.
Wow, look at this real quick. Look at this.
Michael Walder, huh? Knight takes bishop.
Well, White's move. Yeah.
Yeah. So rook takes knight, I guess. Maybe this is not. And then rook f2. Does rook f2 work? Yeah. Now rook takes f2. King f2. Rook f8 check. Bishop f3 and knight pins at e5. That's bad for White, I think. Yeah. So, he falls for it. Rook f2 looks very like a shot here, and Michael's not going to miss it.
Well, I'm sure Michael knows that this was played in a game in Budapest in 1933.
Well,
his level of preparation's pretty deep.
I mean, White should have taken with the pawn there, but then Black plays rook d8, and that pawn at d3 is a monster. So something went wrong here. Rook f2 looks very strong. King f2, rook f8 check, bishop f3, knight e5, and then the threat is to play knight g4 check or take on f3, and that just seems to win the game right on the spot. So, what's White going to do on rook f2? Queen d3 maybe, and then Black could play rook takes b2. Or maybe something even stronger, like doubling rooks or something.
He's thinking about it. He's wanting to make sure.
It's funny, yeah. Michael's good. There is a fantastic quote from Kasparov I'd never heard before, which is, attack a piece 10 times, attack your opponent's pieces 10 times, and on the 11th time, they'll make a mistake. Which really, that's what attacking play is all about. You just keep hammering at the guy, and then lo and behold,
it reveals itself.
On the 11th move there.
And it takes a lot of persistence on the attacker too, right? I mean, it's
and accuracy, yeah. But the principle is the initiative and the attacking and the the momentum and all that, But I like that, 10 times, and then finally, there are games of Kasparov and Alekhine. Alekhine was fond of the long forcing combinations, and Kasparov has also got that kind of thing going for him as well. Long, bam, 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 and,
yeah, like Karyakin still stands at move 12.
King h1. So what's on? This is a complicated fight where White has some definite attacking chances, but Black is not, maybe not so badly placed.
Let's take a look at Elliott's game with Michael Wang.
And Karyakin, they're talking about the Grandmaster title. That Karyakin achieved it at the age of 12, and that is a record that still stands more than 10 years later, right? I mean, I'm not sure when he got the title, but
It says at move 12, at age 12.
yeah, at age 12. Karyakin is the youngest grandmaster of all time, and that record has stood for an amazing amount of time. When you think of all the prodigies and youngsters that are coming up and everything, it's absolutely incredible that Karyakin's record is still holding. 2004. That's like 17 years. That's
a long time. Yeah.
It's incredible.
Isn't there a player now that's like on the precipice of?
Yeah, I was reading about that too.
Yeah, a player from India, I believe.
I mean, it's bound to get broken, but that it hasn't been broken yet is just phenomenal.
And it was played by Mike Walder, Rook F2. Oh, that's right, Mishra.
Where is he located in the United States?
Is he East Coast? He, I believe he played one of our online events.
How about that?
If I'm correct, it was the Blitz tournament of the Americas where we had all the title players and grandmasters. I believe he played on that. Yep, he did. It was him.
So now let's take a look at this. What happens on Rook D8?
And Eric Lee offered a draw right here.
That's. Well, I won't say what that is.
I think you just did.
Well, wait a minute now. Black to play and win. Rook D8, Queen E4, forced, I think. Okay. Otherwise, Rook E2, probably. What?
They agreed to a draw.
Oh, gosh. Oh. That's too bad.
Yeah, and I just cheated. I saw the
Rook D8 looks like a winning move.
I saw the evaluation.
Oh yeah. What was the evaluation?
Black was just a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
A little bit better.
Don't tell me these evaluations.
I know.
Okay, so Black's
it's like, better. Oh, right here, follow me. It's a forced win, and then like, it's just a little bit better. But I mean, this looks. I mean, clearly Black has got more. Looks like he's got more options, but maybe it's a little more complex than I realize. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It always is.
As in life. Let's go back to board one here. Oh, let me flip the orientation. Oops, I'm messing this up. There we go.
All right. So White needs to just wait for Black to do something. This is like the last thing you want to get against Gadzhir.
An even position? Or
well, it's even in theory, but better for Black in practice. Okay, well, we'll see if White can hold this.
See how it plays out.
Yeah, see how it plays out.
Look at this game. Jonah Bush, a Benko Gambit, played by Jonah.
At the declined variation, right, this time?
And this is Jonah B against
Black looks great here.
Shravan Sriram.
Black looks great here with that pass pawn at b4. He might have even had a shot there with knight takes d5, bishop g7, knight e3, maybe. I don't know. That certainly looks like a threat now. As well as onto the a4 pawn. Well, white can take now on b4, and then black has to take with this, probably going to take with the c pawn, because if he takes with the a pawn, a5, so why is Gadir's game easier to play?
Gadir's game?
Yeah, some Lex
Oh.
Which wants to know.
Oh, good question. Let's go back to that, and you can talk about that. Here it is.
Yeah, I think it's just that there's a minority attack going ahead on the queen side, where black is going to, play some combination of rook b8 and then pawn to b4, and white's advancing up the side of the board with the king side, but he doesn't have a majority over there. So the white bishop doesn't have any targets. The black pawns sort of keep it out of play. What it's kind of what the players have to work with here. White can easily make things worse for himself, and that's often what happens in these positions. By trying to be active, the player makes, like, these pawn advances on the king side have to be considered very carefully. For example, black has the idea now of playing pawn to g5, and this will give black the e5 square. And so if white's not careful, so black has different ideas to play here, and white has basically nothing.
And Vish 1080 is in the chat asking if white's space affects anything.
I mean, that affects something. I mean, white does have some more space, but what exactly is he going to do? I think white needs to play pawn to g5 to prevent black from playing pawn to g5. Like, if you imagine black playing g5 and then a pawn exchange on that square, like in some way, sometimes that's even a sacrifice for black. And then black gets the e5 square for the knight. And it's just that black has more dynamic things to work with. I think that's basically the answer to the question. And white took a chance by playing g4. I would have preferred to keep the pawn back. But you always want to play actively, but playing actively is not always the right thing to do.
And I think that's where Gadir seems to take advantage, is that when his opponents start to be active, they actually overcommit themselves.
Right.
And he takes advantage of that. Let's take a look.
Just bishop c2, preserving the bishop, I mean, doesn't really do much else.
So how does, because like in this position, white is fine exchanging the knight for the bishop, right?
Right.
So even the doubled pawns don't mean anything.
No, they wouldn't mean anything. I mean, white would welcome that, black taking on b3. The minority attack is going to be used to it's worthless in itself, but if it can create a weakness on the queen side by isolating one of the queen side pawns, then it might become valuable. So we're just going to have to see what happens. Like here, Gadir could play rook b8 and then play with the idea of playing b4. And if white takes, playing rook b4, and if b3, then a4. And you can see how he's sort of creating a, I'm oversimplifying it, but the idea is to create an isolated pawn over there. And now this move, h6, with the idea of playing g5.
And that's what you were talking about all along there.
Yeah, I think white playing g4 is a fundamental mistake in this position, because when if black is able to play g5, then we're getting weak. And this f5 move, attempt at active play, I think is, it's not good. Look at black king could go to e5 right now, even. I'm sure Gadir is looking at king f6 with the idea of playing king e5.
And with the light squared bishop, you can't.
Yeah, the light squared
just
bishop
chase away.
Yeah, I mean, f5, I would have left the pawns back at g3 and f4. That would have made it more difficult for black. This doesn't feel right to me.
And let's take a look at what's happening in the game between Max Gadajlovic and Max Howe here.
I predict there'll be a good result for Max.
And Max is going to take it down, or they're going to draw. Well, thanks, Lex, thanks for watching the broadcast and being active in the chat and it sort of enhances the overall experience of following the TNN.
Look at this. White's threatening to take on f6. And black switches it up with knight e4. Good move.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. But let me jump to this game. This is the top board in the under 1800. We have William Kelly here playing white against Aaron Nikoski, the top seed in that section. Both with 3 out of 3.
Tough little game, but let's quickly go back to the other game, because I saw an amazing combination.
In Max's?
Yeah.
Yep.
So white could play bishop takes e4, d takes e4, and then d5. And the idea is to play, if black takes on d5, to play queen h6. And if g takes h6, knight h6 mate. So anyway, there's some funny ideas floating around here.
And the time is roughly equal on both sides, so that's interesting to follow. Back to this game.
Knight f5, yeah, sure. But you're saying that Max is in the chat a lot, so I should be quiet.
Although I haven't seen him at all in this game. I think he realizes this is if there's any game to be completely focused, it's going to be this one. So
this is a tough little position. Who knows?
that's the commentary.
Let's move on here. Nothing to see here.
This is a tough one. Nothing to see here.
Black looks like he's a little better. Some pressure in the center here.
And it looks like here are the moves that have been played. F5 brings knight back. Bishop.
Yeah, now there's been a little reshuffling of the black pieces. We're bringing the knight back to the vulnerable e5 square. White attacks b5. Black defends with the rook. And the black rook is active on the 4th rank too. This is, white, this is the problem of being active sometimes, is that you give your opponent some squares here. And g5. And now black has another thing to work with, and that is the h6 to h5 thing, opening the H file and targeting the G pawn as well. So this is starting to look shaky now for white.
And then even looking at black's the squares like f6 and e5. I mean, those are all good squares that even a knight can hop onto.
The king or the knight.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is white should have kept his pawns back.
And taking a quick peek at board 2 in the under 1800 section. This is Marina Zhao, Programming Max, playing white against the other 3 out of 3 player in this section, Joshua Lamstein, playing black. And Marina at 2.5.
Well, this has gone well. This, I mean, there's a pawn hanging at b6, and the game is still kind of open up, but it looks like it's gone well for black. I mean, maybe there's even knight takes c2 here, and if rook takes c2, queen takes b3.
Oh, look at you, little tactics there.
Although then rook takes c8, queen takes a6. So it's not so clear.
All right, let's go. Let's take a look at board 1 here and sort of follow the developments. Let me switch the orientation there. Now, can a strategy for white be to shift the rooks to the f-file?
Yeah, well, white needs counterplay here. I mean, this is getting strangled here. But you notice that even if he puts the rooks on the f-file, that black's knight on e5 prevents rook f7 check. And if black exchanges one pair of rooks here, it's going to be really tough for white. And I'm sure Gadir is probably just, this is, coming close to a technical win for black now. I mean, imagine a black knight at f4. Look how quickly he played rook f8. I mean, just like, let's exchange one pair of rooks, and then I don't see white has no counterplay. The black knight is going to f4 or something, and the black king is going to e5, and the game is over. This is lost for white, I think.
And you just like that, huh? Even what you suggested right away, Gadir went right for that.
Well, the rook, by exchanging one pairs of rooks, white is, just no counterplay. I mean, it's only by like 2 pairs of rooks. So like white can play rook f6 or something like that, or desperately play h4 and try to create some, but one pair of rooks goes off. It's just, then black is just going to win at his leisure here with knight e5, knight g6, knight f4, king f6, king e5.
And Lex is asking, what is the fact of one rook coming off the board?
Reducing counterplay. And now it's just.
I mean, look at that knight going to g6 and
to f4, just like I said. The knight's got a bunch of great squares. Okay, so now white is doing what here? Trying to liquidate as many pawns as possible. What else can white do?
It's like the rook is almost like a pawn there.
Yeah, the knight is dominating the bishop, Okay, so, hunker down. Hunker down. At what? Rook c2, knight f4, bishop f1, And then black plays, okay, well, go ahead, sack the exchange. That's not going to bother me.
And let's
Could
do
there
a
be some technical difficulties with an exchange sack, a desperate exchange sack? I don't think so.
and taking a peek at Elliott's game against Michael Wang. Elliott to 10 minutes.
Black's done well here, exchanging the light squared bishops. Should have an equal game.
And Paul over there doing his Captain Queeg, rolling the steel balls.
Actually, it's
the pretzels.
The pretzels.
Wow, let's jump to this game, but what the heck? Okay, this is significant advantage already there. So let's go back to this game. Battle of two maxes.
This is an interesting game. White needs to make this bishop at b2 come alive here. But how can he do it? He has to get... Black has got a stout looking defense going on here at the moment. But what about bishop takes e4, takes on e4, and knight f6 check, forces him to take, and then he retakes, threatening rook f5. What does black do? How does Gadir win?
Should we...
The same way that he's beaten everybody else.
Here we go. Let's check it out.
Yeah. All right, so he's not putting the knight on f4. He's going to play b4 in order to make a weakness in white's position.
And Eric getting to close to 5 minutes left. Mike Wilder saying he thinks that it might be a little bit harder.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reduced amount of material. So Gadir has decided he didn't want to put the knight on f4. There was no way to do anything after that. And maybe he's right. And now he's going to try to play pawn to b4 instead. Interesting. I mean, black is certainly a lot better, but maybe it's going to be tougher than it looks. Yeah, I mean, we can imagine Korchnoi defending this, for successfully somehow, but
not us.
Not us, mere mortals. Okay, white's flirting with the idea of playing h4 and getting some counterplay there. Making a fight of it. Gadir's a player that likes to have everything under control. So
what would be the weakness created by a b4 push, asks Lex in the chat.
So, I mean, like if b4 and white takes twice, then the b2 pawn is exposed, I guess.
Well, isolated, yeah, all by itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, chop 2 times and black maybe. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not that easy. Maybe rook e5, trying to play pawn to d5. It's another possibility. If I was good too, I would have tried something with the knight on f4 and put king e5. What could be bad with that? Knight f4 and king f6 e5. Jeez. Maybe white had a chance to play pawn to b4 or something.
Knight a4. Is that what you said?
No, I'm knight to f4. There's dogs all over the place.
Yeah, it's the chess player life. Gotta have a dog, right? Well, let's see how this develops. Let's check on Elliot and Michael Wang.
Okay, so he plays bishop g5, f6, and then sacks a piece with knight c5. Fighting for the initiative. Instead of just retreating the bishop to d2, Elliot plays knight c5. So he's going to get 2 pieces for a rook.
This was a Caro-Kann. Mike Walters.
He's going to get 2 pieces for a rook after f takes g5, knight e6. And that actually looks like it might be promising for white. I like it. I like the way Elliot's played this. He had to do something like this in order not to get positionally in trouble. Knight d6 might not have been the best move for black.
And just a quick look at Austin Mai's game here as white. Austin is playing Pranav Satish.
Okay, well, where can the black rook go on the f file? Nowhere. If rook f8, queen takes f8 check. If rook f4, rook knight to e6.
So this is trouble.
So this is trouble. Rook takes g5.
Yeah.
Loses the queen to knight f6 check as well. So
we've had some play and developments in Gedajlovic, Max Howe.
Oh yeah, that was actually at a crisis point.
And it looked like there was.
And he did play that, huh?
Massive sacrifice. Look at that. Takes the knight.
Yep. He did it. He did it. He took the bishop, took the knight on e4, then took there and played knight f6 check.
Oh my gosh!
Just like I said. Oh, and then he played queen h6. Huh. Okay. Finding this. Really nicely done. It looked like it was going to work. And black has to give up his queen.
Hi there.
And now probably a winning position for white, but black needs to get up on the 3rd rank with the rook to cover the g file. Maybe he can make something of this e pawn really quickly.
Nice little combination there by Max Gedajlovic. He's got to make his queen and rook work. Hi there. DKTQ80. Who is that? Will you reveal yourself? And thanks for following the broadcast. And Austin Mai got Danny Quang. Rook A6. Thank you, Danny, for following. And if anyone's watching and you do not yet follow the Mechanics Twitch channel, click that purple follow button. And anytime Mechanics is on air, you get notified, and you will never experience FOMO. You will always be aware of the happenings at the Mechanics Institute. Let's take a look at board one and see what is happening in this game. Eric Hahn, 2.5 minutes left on his clock.
Despite the reduced amount of material, White's got 3 weak pawns.
Yeah.
But White's done a very good job here of exchanging and,
like trying to give himself a
yeah, I mean,
chance.
it looks like he's probably going to lose a pawn somewhere over here, but it might just be enough material off the board for him to hold it. Well, now Black wins a pawn here with Rook C2, which he plays. And this is yeah, look at that. He did the minority attack and created the pawn weakness weeks later.
Yeah. GM chef Mike Walder.
It's amazing how it happens.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Checking in on Elliot's game. What do we have here? This is
Look at that. The minority attack has won a pawn for Gedzier. How about that? Well, Elliot's worse here, obviously, but this is still tough.
Obviously.
Well, Black is so active here. I guess it's not that obvious.
Hey, check this game out. This is the top board in the under 1800. We got a pawns endgame.
Well, interesting. So if Black plays G4 check, that doesn't do anything. The White King just goes to E3. Probably a draw. Looks like a draw. I mean, somebody's going to have to make a bad mistake to allow the other side's king to get in.
And
yeah, this is nothing for either side.
And here we have
Black is doomed here.
You're gonna lose a bishop, right?
Yeah. He played the wrong idea of playing bishop to C8. I think he was too slow. This is hopeless. I'm sure it is. I'm not positive. I mean, what Black's going to put his rook on E6 and play pawn E3 really fast.
Yeah, just gonna pick off a bunch of material.
Yeah, this is not
terrific play by Max. Just
that wins the rook.
Talking about Gedajlovic. And that is it. He resigns. Yeah. Max Gedajlovic, fantastic win. Always exciting chess from him.
Come back as well.
Tricky combination. Let's take a look at Mike Hilliard. He's still playing. He is black here in his game. He is taking on.
Oh, he's doing great here.
Yeah, he's taking on Aditya Chita.
He's up 2 pawns.
Mechanics Institute trustee, Mike Hilliard.
Yeah. Oh, but bishop f5. Spectacular. Coming up is bishop c5 check. King g3. Then what? Queen goes back to h6 maybe. Then rook h3. No, then queen f4 check.
And Gadir did win the game. This is the final position here. It's gonna relieve Eric of his bishop.
Wow.
And Max Howe in the chat. Exciting game against the other Max.
Wow.
Entertaining game.
Gadir is just a boss.
He's playing chess like a boss. He must have read Patrick Wolf's book. Here is
Elliot's still playing?
yeah, he's still playing over here. This is the position. Rook against 2 pieces.
Wow.
Nice nice game, Austin Mai, who's in the chat. Yeah, we saw that.
So maybe rook e2 here with the idea of putting a rook on e6. Black is better, but maybe not winning.
Look at this position in the under 1800 section.
F5 check, huh?
Prescott Yu against Ethan Sun. F5 check. That is correct.
Black has an attack, but can he bring it home?
Bring home the bacon.
Well, if white takes en passant, knight f6 check, followed by, and if king f3, rook h3 check, and knight takes e4, so, Maybe white should take on f5 check and give up the h4 pawn.
And only because this looks completely interesting. This position. This is also in the under 1800 section.
Look at that back rank.
So looks like it's Jonathan Dizenhoff against Charles James.
White must have a win here somehow based on that back rank mate. How about rook takes c7?
Paul just looking to sacrifice pieces.
Yeah, sacrifice and crush. Maybe bishop d5, simple bishop d5 move. Yeah, threatens bishop, takes f7, bishop f7, queen takes e5. So it actually contains a direct threat. Strong. Or just trading and playing b5. Yeah, there you go. That's the Gadir continuation.
That's the Austin Mai continuation.
It's the Gadir,
And then
and Austin Mai
we
continuation.
were talking about Sacrifice and Crush. This is actually a really interesting matchup. Sauce Jacobian playing white against Rohan Das. It looks like Rohan is up a rook for some pawns. But does Sauce have anything for that? Just anything at all?
No.
It's just simple, simple answer, straight answer. Well, there you have it from Paul's mouth. Nope.
You know what the the difficulty in solving problems and difficulty in solving sacrificial problems for beginners or even players who have played chess for a long time is they learned that, a knight is better than a pawn. And then after that, they're never, ever going to give away their knight for a pawn, even if it leads to a forced mate in 2 moves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you've got to get used to the idea of sacrifice. Sacrifice is an integral part of the game of chess. And if you're not willing to part with material, then
I think a lot of people have trouble seeing position in space as like a tangible advantage, like material, right? Right. It's
yeah, I mean, that's right. Material is such a tangible thing that people cannot see beyond it at all.
Let's check in on Elliot's game. He's down to under 2 minutes on the clock.
The player should agree to a draw, probably here.
I think Michael sees Elliot's minute 46 and is going to press that on.
There's
right,
that.
Max, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. And I know you lost your 4th round game, but it was exciting. We were following that game quite a bit. So, Max Howe.
Yeah.
And he's a mechanics player. The funny thing is like he would, at least in the last like 2 years, I didn't see him at the marathons. I saw him at the Wednesday Blitz that Jules ran. Max would come and play that. I actually played him in the Jules Jelinek Blitz Wednesday nights one time. Beat me, of course. But nice to see Max playing online with us here.
Yeah, I mean, White can put his rook on e6, but then, actually Black just got a chance to improve his position a little bit, right? With bishop c5 and pawn to b6. So at some point, both players are going to kind of max out their positions, and then that might be a draw, time to agree to a draw. Unless one player wants to play for the loss. And that's definitely possible. Can Black somehow, pivot the knight around to a different square? Maybe.
And Austin thinks that Black has sort of a fortress here.
Yeah, I think Black does. But I mean, black is the only one that can really improve his position, and there might be possibly a way to do that by bringing the knight around somehow while keeping the blockade, but doesn't look that likely. It's possible.
And
They should agree to a draw.
that's the recommendation, huh?
Yeah.
And here we have this game, Jonah Bush playing black.
Wow. Another exciting, both players with passed pawns all over the board.
Against Shravan Sriram.
White's trying to get through here, though. The black knight on c8 is not good. What can black do here? Rook f1.
What, rook f1, rook f1?
I guess, yeah, rook f1, because if black plays rook a5, the knight hangs in c8.
Queen c8, yeah.
So then maybe black will play pawn to c2, right? Not clear what's going on.
And they both have about 4 minutes left. Let's go back
very
to
exciting.
Let's go back to the Elliott game because Michael Wang is playing on. Elliott at 1 minute.
So black is trying a little reorganization here.
And in reality, their USCF ratings, I think Elliott and Michael Wang are pretty similar, actually. By USCF rating, I'm taking a look. Well, I mean, Michael Wang, it shows his rating is 2098, but I know he's been a very, very solid 22 plus before. So
this was kind of silly on Michael Wang's part. There's some passes, some strange, I mean, king f6 now and king f7.
Yeah, it looks very difficult to break through. Just want to move over top board in the under 1800. It looks like they're just dancing around, but is there anything that can be done?
Yes, white can play a4 and b5, and black is going to have to be careful. King c8 is nuts. Now black is lost. There was no, well, I guess he had to move the king. He had to give it up. He had to give up the b6 square. Yep. This is lost now. And, you know, black is eventually going to lose the d5 pawn. And we'll get that same endgame that we had before in the other game. Wait a minute, there is actually a chance for black. Hold on a second. Takes twice. King c7. Wait a minute. King c7. Takes, and then king c7. King a5, king c6. White's not making any progress. Black has to take here. Now, if black can prevent white from playing pawn to c6, then it's a draw. So takes king c7, and then it looks like a draw because black can triangulate. Who triangulates, black or white? King c7. I guess white can triangulate, huh?
I'm just glad I don't have to calculate this. Oh, it feels brutal. Just real quick, we're gonna keep an eye on this game, but look at this game between Marina in the under 1800. This is board 2 in the under 1800, and Joshua Lamstein, who's black. I mean, it looks like both sides are going after each other, but
Black has that dangerous pawn on e3. Boy, this is puzzling here, huh? Well, if black can move the queen and play e2 somehow, how does he do it? Let's go back to the king and pawn ending, huh? Oh, bishop takes e3. White gets out. All right. Yeah, now that's it. White wins here because he's going to get back to the b6 square.
and did
And
black
then he's going to play pawn to c6.
and did black misplay something?
I don't think so. I think white can triangulate as Michael said. Getting the in this position now, he gets the b6 square, and as soon as white plays king b6, he then plays pawn to c6, and then he'll win the d5 pawn. So we're sorry for you. Time pressure is a terrible thing.
Yeah, it's tough. But your game was pretty. Yeah, that was an edgy game.
This is a tough loss for black.
Yeah. But even like looking at the position, just to look at like
Look at
earlier.
that, king b8, king b8. Oh my gosh. King b8 was an incredible move. Wow. He missed it.
King b8.
And after pawn c6.
Oops.
Not here, of course, but back there when white played
It would have been stalemate. Yeah.
Yeah. c6, king b8.
King b8.
And then but then king c5.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's right.
King b8, king c5. Nice try, but doesn't work.
And now the time is getting a little equalized here. And they've drawn by repetition Elliott and Michael Wang.
It's a fair result.
Wow, look at this craziness right here. With Marina and Joshua Lamstein.
Queen f6, black's up a rook.
Yeah, more than that. So Joshua Lamstein getting it done. Where we have this ending also in the under 1800 section. Looking at the Google sheet, there's another game going. Let me pull that up. 2 games left. Wow, look at the position in this other game here.
Well, black can get rid of that h2 pawn. Game should be a draw. Now look at this. His own pawns are
You're almost gonna see like a mating attack coming, right?
yeah. Well, king f8. Try to run away.
But the time is an issue here for both players.
King g6, king e8. Draw. I would guess.
See, I have more faith in the power of low time to just mess it up. Elliot's saying another slow twitch, but there's only like a 3 second delay on the. So I think it's you, Elliot.
So what's the problem here? G4. Black plays G4. I don't see a mate. I don't see a mate at all. And that doesn't do anything, right?
No, this is just a draw.
Rook a6 is silly. Time to take it f6, yeah.
They were just shooting for the draw.
Both players are playing for a draw.
All right. And I think that is it. I think that's all the games.
Oh yeah, Elliot had a birthday. He's 29.
Happy birthday, Elliot. 49 again. Wow, I'm only 1 year behind you.
We won't reveal his true age.
You got a draw for your birthday. Win and a draw. Win the first match. Yeah, I'm assuming you won. So we'll have the updated standings up pretty soon. What we do know is Gadir remains the only unbeaten player in the top section. He'll have 4 points. Kyron Griffith was undefeated, took 2 byes today. It stands to reason that there's a good chance that Gadir will play Kyron Griffith next week somehow, some way.
I'd like to see that game.
Rohan Das with 3 points. Austin Mai with 3 points. Max with 3 points.
And Gadir with 4 points.
And Mike Walder with 3. Eric with 2.5. Eric Hahn with 3 after losing. And yep, Gadir is going to have a full point on everyone. So that is in that section. And then in the under 1800, and we'll look at the standings as soon as they're up. William Kelly with that win in the end game with 4 points. Joshua Lamstein with his win against Marina, he'll also have 4. So the two will play each other since they're the only 2 players with 4 out of 4 in the under 1800. And that'll be an interesting matchup. And then coming up is Sebi, who he has 3 points. Mike Hilliard with 3. Ethan Sun with 3. And we have one player, Raj Tilak, Jugannathan with 3.5 points.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of stuff still happening, and we'll wait for the updated standings when they are ready.
Thanks for joining us.
And I think we have it here. So let me fix that so that people can see it. Let me. You know what, Paul? I'm gonna turn you off. Nothing against you, but just so
That's fine.
all right. If I turn you off, let's see here. Make some room. There we go. And just so that people can see it, those are the standings right there. Kadir with the
Bye, Alexi.
see you, Lexi. I'm not at the moment looking at the Twitch chat, so I don't see what's going on. Let me open that up. There we go. That's
People can
better.
still hear my disembodied voice,
That's right. You're in the ether.
as well as the sirens from downtown San Francisco.
Yep, yep. And Judith in the chat, good games. You slightly do white.
I'm still here, but not here.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's around. You just I'm just covering him up with the standings. So there you have it. A lot of players with 3 points, but nobody with 3.5. And then scrolling down and looking at the under 1800, you can see it there. Joshua Lamstein and William Kelly with 4. One player with 3.5. A lot of players with 3, but there's dangerous players in there with 3, including Ethan Sun, Aaron Nikowski, Mike Hilliard, and Sebi Suarez.
Mike Hilliard's having a great tournament.
Yeah, Mike.
Fantastic.
It's fun to see him doing well. Online chess paying off for him. And let me fix my box.
And I saw that Mr. Agdamag was playing in one of our tournaments. Is that right?
Yeah, he's playing the Thursday marathon.
Fantastic.
And won his game last week, I might add. So yeah.
Good for Sammy.
Sammy's in the house.
Sammy's in the house. I remember that. Yeah.
So that is the deal. And next week we will have the final 2 rounds of our May Tuesday night marathon, and for all intents and purposes, like we've said before, the Thursday night marathon will always will continue to be online. We're still going to have online events. We're going to have the Mechanics Institute Blitz and Rapid Championship next month. That'll be online. But our next Tuesday night marathon is expected to be live. I only say expected because there's some approvals we're waiting on, but we don't expect anything to get in the way of that. And so next week.
Anybody watching, join us for the Chess Cafe on Mondays. We need some fresh blood in there.
You make it sound so inviting. Here, let me
No,
let me put the link.
Elliot's giving me a little bit of a hard time, so I thought I would give him a little bit of a hard time back.
And let me put that link. If you want to chat chess, 4 p.m. Pacific time. There's the link in the chat. 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can send us your games. We could talk about the games. You could talk some chess history. You could talk
Talk to Nick DeFermian.
Local stuff. Alexi, Elliot, Nick, everyone's in there. Do we know what Elliot's talking about there?
Yeah. Well, I know that there's isn't there a chess.com chat as well as a Twitch chat? He's probably not I'm not sure which chat he's on, but
There's a game chat in
right, there's a game chat on chess.com, but then there's the Twitch chat, right? And so there's probably some other chat that I'm not aware of either, chit chat.
The chit chat.
There's the chit
He's-
chat. And then there's the chat that only Elliot can hear.
in his own world.
All right.
Well, everyone, thank you for following us in the Tuesday Night Marathon. And thank you to Judith, who's in the back, pairing up all the games, uploading the standings, work in the back room. Awesome job as usual. And let's see what other people are doing. I do see the chess dojo there. And I think we're gonna throw the support. You know, one thing, Chess Dojo this weekend. I mean, they sent us a raid a couple of times over the weekend, so that was really cool. We thank them for that, and I think we're gonna send our viewers their way, see what they're up to. Thank you everyone for following, and we look forward to the final 2 rounds next week of the Tuesday Night Marathon. Join us and let's see what happens.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.